I really need to come up with a better opening scene when I'm doing stuff in the garage. I always come up to the bike and I do one of these. It's not working for me. This is Auto Tech, by the way. So today, I'm actually going to take a step back. You know, like what's funny is I'm surprised I've never actually gotten into this video before. I always just jumped right in. I was like, oh yeah, camshafts, this and that. Oh, let's review this. I never thought to actually review how to lift the bike off the ground. So, you know, we're going to go back to the basics today. Unfortunately, the Angry Ginger is out of town today. Otherwise, I would try and borrow his no-name jack so that I could show you the differences. But what I'll do is I'll do another video afterwards reviewing a no-name brand jack. So, just a quick little disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by these guys, nor did I have any sort of endorsement. I'm just giving you my honest opinion and my experiences. So when you get to looking for jacks, there's a dozen available, probably more, and some of them are retarded expensive and some of them are dirt cheap. Now, I decided to cough up the money and get the J&S jacks. For me, it was a close call between J&S and it was between Pitbull. Pitbull was my other choice. And coincidentally, the lifts that I had for my FZ09 were Pitbulls. So, you know, I gave both of them a fair chance, even though they're totally different styles there, but they're both great products. Now, the big thing about the J&S jacks is, like, yes, it is expensive, but it is so worth it. Like any product, when you're having it shipped to you, it typically shows up in pieces. Now, I don't 100% remember, but I believe like the actual frame of it was totally together, but then I had to bolt the arms on, I had to bolt the jack on, and I had to bolt the wheels on. So it wasn't a big deal to actually assemble it. You know, like even if you get yourself like a up here in Canada, like a Mastercraft jack, you're gonna have to put it together. If you get yourself a Craftsman, you're gonna have to put it together. It's just the way it goes, unless you can actually like go to their warehouse or whatever, and they might have one to sell you that is 100% assembled. I think I had to put these little stops in as well. Not a huge deal. When I ordered mine a couple years ago, they had a promotion going on that they gave you a free T-handle. And funny enough, when I phoned, they actually said, tell you what, we'll throw in the oil drain pan as well, or the oil drain tray as well. And I'll show you how that works and whatnot. The T-handle is super convenient for moving the bike around. Like I usually just leave this off all the time because I always just have my bike sitting in this one position, so I never have to wheel it around. But I will put the T-handle on and show you today. Alright, so I'm getting a little old here, but I'm going to drop down here and I'm going to show you what the main selling point on this J&S jack was for me. My bike is a Dyna. Now, if you're not familiar with Dynas, it's a different chassis than the Softails and the Touring. And one of the things that a lot of people come across is normal jacks won't work on it. And this is why. If you get down to my frame here, you can see there's a flat spot here, and then there's like this brace in the frame, and then there's a bracket, and then there's more frame. On like the Angry Ginger Softail, it's just straight the whole way across. So you could literally like kick a car jack under there with a 2x4 if you could fit it, and you could lift it that way. But when it comes to a jack, for a jack for the Dynas, you need something that fits. Now, Harley Davidson is more than happy to sell you a Dyna adapter for most motorcycle lifts, and I think it's like $200. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. That's I'm not buying a couple $100 jack and then going ahead and spending $200 on a adapter. What some guys do with the Craftsman jacks is they actually cut these bolts off and then they'll move them to the outside and bolt them there. So like where this is now, this would be over here, and then where this one is, it would be over here. That's real great and all, but I mean, you should just get what you need. You know, you shouldn't have to buy something, cut it up, and make it work. Enough standing and talking. Let's get to actually doing stuff. So you've got your casters at the back end here, so you can actually kind of wheel it around to where you need it to go. It's a little bit of a two-hand job sometimes because you do have to move that over a little bit, get it to where you need it. So I slide the jack through about that far, and then what I do is I look to make sure that it's going to go between here, here, and between here and here. I only worry about this one because I know the front one will be good. So yeah, let's get lifting. So I jack it until it touches. That's what she said. And then I come over here, just kind of support the bike with one hand, and I start lifting, and then the bike will straighten itself out. And now the jack 100% has a hold of the bike. The J&S jack, the way that the locks work is they just kind of fall into the slots. And you never want to shock load a lift or like a jack, sorry. So you want to lower it onto the locks. So now, you know, you're safe to work. For the purpose of this video though, I'm going to take it right to the sky, and then I'm going to show you how that oil tray works. Before I get there though, just something, if your garage floor isn't straight, just touch down these little stoppers, and then you don't have to worry about the jack moving around on you. Alright, so you've probably seen this in my maintenance videos, but that just pops on there like that. And then you can put your oil pan right there, and now you can do your oil changes and not have it make a huge mess. If you refer to any of my oil change videos or anything like that, or even when I was doing my primary video, you can see everything just falls on there. If you're pulling this primary cover off, just put some tin foil right here so it doesn't get all over your arms. But yeah, this is your oil drain pan that can be purchased separately, or maybe phone them and be like, hey, what can you do for me? And they might throw it in for you. Alright, so now that we're up in the air, okay, if you look at my frame there, you can see it catches it here. It's on the other way of this stop. It's on this side of the Jiffy stand, and then you've got plenty of frame up front there. Let's see if I can get some better angles on it here. You know, you get the idea. It works with Dynas with zero modifications and zero screwing around. And then it works on soft tails as well, which is like any of the videos where I was working on the Angry Ginger's bike was on this lift. To lower the bike, what you do is you just get it off the locks, flip the safeties up, and then you release the valve. Now this will go real quick, so don't go all NASCAR and just drop it on the ground, but you know, a nice controlled like this, like see I'm not even near it right now. And when you want it to stop lowering, just tighten that valve back up and then put your safeties back in. And then if you want to be on those locks, you can lower it down until it touches, or I want to be on these next ones so that my front tire is off the ground. So I'm going to go to there, and then I am going to lower it onto the locks. So in the event you're working on your bike or whatever, you've got an attachment point here, an attachment point here, and then all the way on the other side you have an attachment point here. So you can go through the frame, over the seat, whatever you got to do to strap it in. But I'm going to show you something really cool about this J&S jack. Okay, now this is a disclaimer here. This is me on my bike, and J&S does not endorse this type of thing, but their jack is so sturdy. As you can see, I have no straps, nothing holding this bike on. Both tires are off the ground, and then I am going to get on it. This jack is so sturdy, I can actually sit on the bike with it on the jack. No straps. And now I'm going to wind those little stoppers up, and then I'm going to put the T-handle in there. And I do like to use 2 hands for this, especially since I'm doing it without a strap. But again, this jack is so sturdy, I can hold on to this T-handle, hold on to the bike, and then I can wheel it wherever I gotta go. Here, let's try it one-handed just because I'm feeling cocky. Oh, now we're stuck in a crack. But yeah, as you can see, the bike's not strapped in, both tires are off the ground, and we're moving around by the T-handle without the bike strapped in. So now, one thing that I can teach you from personal experience is if you remove this back tire and remove all that stuff, you're removing so much weight from the back end that the whole bike and jack will want to tip. So I don't know if they designed this on purpose, but it seems to work out perfectly. If I'm on these first locks, my front tire is touching, but then my back tire is high enough that I can take my back tire off and not have the bike come off the jack or have it tip. The position that this is in right now makes it even more sturdy if you want to go and get on it, you know, because then it's supported back here and it's supported back there. And some of the things that I actually did during the winter while I was doing my mods was I would have the bike like this, and then I would fire it up and ride it in this very position. Because the back tire is so high off the ground, I didn't have to worry about it touching, so I could bang through a few gears and not have anything happen. When you want to get it off the jack, just get your locks out of the way, and then I always come around. Just in case I hit it while I was working on it, I make sure the jiffy stands all the way forward, and then release the pressure, and then I hang on to the bike. And just let the jack do its thing. You're gonna feel like it's tipping, but now it's on the jiffy stand again. So turn the handlebars like that. Just kind of step on that a little bit, or actually it goes even quicker if you just loosen that right off. And then, ta-da. No, wait, stop. Those wheels roll pretty good. They have ball bearings and stuff, so careful how hard you push that. It might roll into your vehicle. As for the storage of this, you could probably turn it up on its side, do something with it. Like for me, this corner is just kind of like a whatever. Like I got tires, compressor, lawnmower, that sort of thing. So this thing sitting over here isn't in the way. And then, you know, I always have my smoking chair right there anyways, so it's not like it's in my way. So you know what, guys and gals, I hope this helped persuade you into spending a little bit more money on getting a quality jack. I will do a video of a no-name brand jack, a cheap one, in the future here, and you will see the differences. The money is just like your safety also is worth a little bit more money, because as you could see, I could screw around with the bike and it wasn't even like remotely rocky or, you know, like a balance issue, anything like that. So, you know, spending the extra little bit of money kind of guarantees you're not going to have to spend even more money fixing a bike that falls off a jack that's 2 feet up in the air. The cleanliness of the oil changes using the oil drain pan, that's just so awesome, because there's nothing worse than getting a bunch of stains all over your concrete floor in your garage, you know, and then you're buying kitty litter or sawdust and you gotta clean it up. So I'm definitely biased because I spent the money on it and I love the thing. And you know, I've gotten, geez, probably a few dozen lifts out of like 3 different motorcycles on it, and it's over 2 years old now and it's still working perfectly. So it's well worth the investment and it will last for future bikes. I would definitely like to try one of the brand new ones with like the 107. I doubt their frame's any different though. Let me know below what you guys use for a jack. Did you spend the money, or did you buy a cheap one and just make it work? What brand did you go with? And what are the pros and cons of that? Then that way anyone reading through the comments, if they don't want to cough up for a J&S or they don't want to cough up for a Pitbull, maybe there's another off-make brand that works just as good and I didn't know about it. Some of the stuff up here in Canada is a little bit limited. Like, we don't have a Harbor Freight. You know, our most comparable thing would probably be Princess Auto, and man, that thing is cheap. Like, I would not lift my bike with a Princess Auto jack. Let me know your thoughts below. Thanks for taking the time and watching, guys. And if you're brand new to this, make sure you hit that subscribe button.